we're going to learn about fleshy fruits. We're going to start by learning about berries. Can anyone name a berry? Yes, you. Strawberry? Nope, strawberry is definitely not a berry. And raspberry? Nope, raspberry, totally not a berry. Blackberry? Nope, blackberry is not a berry either. Those are have berry in their name. A lot of things with berry in their name aren't actually berries. Some of the things that don't have berry in their name are berries. A berry is a fruit that's fleshy throughout, containing one or more seeds. And a tomato is a really great example of a berry. In fact, the question about is a tomato a fruit or a vegetable, now that we're thinking of things botanically, it's like not even a serious question. Of course it's a fruit. It's a ripened ovary containing seeds. And the berries are fleshy throughout. The outer portion, sometimes called the pericarp or the ovary, fleshy. Middle portion, sometimes called the mesocarp, fleshy. And there's no exact inner portion the way there is in some other somewhat fleshy fruits. Another example of a berry is a blueberry. And it has berry in its name. One of the interesting things about blueberries, other than the fact that they're one of the few blue fruits that we eat, is that they have a inferior ovary. And you can look carefully at the blueberry and see the difference between the side where the stem is attached and the side where the flower parts, other flower parts, especially the sepals, were attached. It has a stem end and a blossom end. Let's take a look at it close up and see some of the details about the blueberry fruit compared with the tomato. Blueberries. So I'd like first to direct our attention to the blueberries is that both ends of the blueberries have some sort of indentations, and one end of the blueberry is kind of plain with just a little circular patch, like that. And the other end of the blueberry is flared out with 5 little triangular lobes. And those 5 little triangular lobes are the remnants of the calyx. So if you can visualize that there's a calyx on top, and in the bottom is where the stem was attached. Fruits that have a genuine stem end and blossom end, where the flower is on the top and the stem is in the bottom and the ovary is in between, that's an example of evidence of an inferior ovary. And blueberries are from a family called the Ericaceae, which indeed have an inferior ovary. And you can detect that by those calyx remnants. Blueberries, they are berries. That's not the case with the tomatoes. Tomatoes are smooth on the top. That's where the stem was attached. The tomato comes from a member of it is a member of the Solanaceae, the nightshade family, and they have a superior ovary. Tomatoes, they are berries. While we're on the subject of berries, cucumber. It's a special modified berry. It's called a pepo, P-E-P-O, and it's a berry with a sort of a leathery rind. It's only found in one family, the Cucurbitaceae, the gourd family. So cucumbers and squash and gourds. They have this sort of modified berry, kind of leathery on the outside, sometimes not so much. They also, by the way, have an inferior ovary. They have a stem end and a blossom end. It's more obvious when it's in flower, but you can sort of detect it on the fruit. They're also monoecious. They have separate male and female flowers. And there's an interesting interesting aspect of the way the seeds are attached inside. Pepos are cool. This is a pepo, a modified berry. How are you? Peachy. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What do you mean? Well, peaches are drupes. And you're sort of droopy, huh? A peach is a drupe. Drupes. Drupes are sometimes called stone fruits. What characterizes a drupe is that it's mostly fleshy. Fleshy on the outside, fleshy in the middle, but as you probably know, what a drupe has on the inside is a kind of big pit. It's not really called that's not a technical term. Oh man, well I guess that's a good demo. It's split right through it, which that's actually good. Teaching moment. We'll show these close up. But the thing about drupes is that they have a Look, I sneezed into my elbow. Maybe I should wear a mask. A seed surrounded by a hard, bony endocarp. And it's the stone of the stone fruits. I'm allergic to peaches. This is crazy. I have peach fever. Let me show you this close up. So let's take a look at some of these fruits. Oh, by the way, here's the cucumber cross section. And it's fun to see the seeds attached to the inside of the cucumber, which is a peepo. And it's kind of something unusual. It's got what's called parietal placentation. See how the seeds are attached? They're attached to the sort of the periphery of the carpel, and instead of being attached to the center post. That so-called parietal placentation, it's kind of unusual. But I digress. Look at the peach. The peach is a drupe, and the way I opened it was sort of accidental, but probably good at the same time. So you can see that it's a stone fruit. The outside is sort of fleshy, the middle is fleshy, but the inside, there's the seed, that dark thing in the middle, and it's got a hard, bony, what's it called, endocarp. This is the other half of that peach sort of pit. And it's a drupe. A drupe is a kind of a common fruit type. And there's some nice drupes in the grocery store, including peaches and nectarines, plums, cherries. Cherries, I got cherries here. Boom, stone fruit, cherry. And almonds. I know, you say, what, almonds? How are they drupes? And if you have almonds that are like this, the kind you crack open to release the seed that's within, the unshelled type, you know, see how much they resemble a peach pit? It's because they basically are a peach pit. The genus that includes peaches, prunus, and cherries as well, almonds. So yeah, so an almond is the stone of a stone fruit. We don't eat that part. We eat the seed, just the seed. And so you can see the resemblance. It's not a superficial resemblance. It's an actual homology. They're identical, more or less. Drupes. Drupes are kind of common. A lot of plants produce drupes. It's a very frequently found fruit. A lot of people just call them berries, and they're not, because they have a seed surrounded by endocarp. Probably to survive going through a bird or a mammal's digestive tract and still be viable.